What's up? Welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk Fam. I am your host, Reverend Dante Stewart, and my co-host,
Tykia Key.
My partner in crime, my homie, my dog, yeah, my sis. And we're so excited to have you for another episode and season of Let's Talk Fam, where we, talk about the things that matter and have, honest, relevant conversations about the things that are important to us. And today's episode is really special because it's the beginning of the year, and I love a beginning of the year. Now, come March time, March, April, May, I'm probably going to be talking much different, but we go through probably like one of the best stretches of our lives in that first 2, 3, 4 week period of January, I think. Don't we? Do we? Or do we not? I don't know. How y'all doing over there?
It's a lot of pressure. I will say it's a lot of pressure at the top of every new year and at the end of every year.
It is.
Yeah, I can see how.
What's that pressure, though?
It's the pressure of the new year, new me. Not for me, though. For me, I've been trying to, been making sure that I'm just looking at time just a little bit differently. Like, just continue to focus on the main thing and not getting caught up in, like, the chaos of, the holidays and travel. And then I got to set all these goals. I got to get back in the gym. I got to do all the things.
So
I got to make a new plan.
I feel it. Are you a resolution person or no?
No. I used to be, but no.
Okay.
I let
what
that
changed?
Go. The pressure. It was unhealthy. Like feeling like I needed to redo something, reimagine who I am as if I wasn't already on the right path. Yeah. Yeah. If that makes sense.
It does.
Okay, cool.
I don't do resolutions.
Are you a resolution person?
I used to be. I used to be. No. So I actually am a resolution type of person. Like, because for me, I love the idea of fresh starts. It's just like, even back to my playing days, like there was always something dope about like, all right, we closing the chapter on this and we're starting a new season. And it really, for so many of us, the new season started in January. It didn't start in August. It didn't start in September. It started in January with winter practice and winter lifting and things like that. And it's really where you set the tone for what you're going to experience in August. And I like the idea of resolutions because every time, and you were talking about this with transitions, like every time we go through a transition, I think we need to resolve to do some things. Like, I am of the belief that it is okay to say new year, new me. Like, I'm not that type of person. Like, let me tell you, like, I absolutely hate with a big HATE when people get on people who like going to the gym and stuff, right? They be like, oh, like, why y'all getting in the gym and why y'all doing that? Y'all taking up all our weights and y'all taking up all our racks. And I'm like, bro, come on, bro. Like, relax, bro. Like, come on. Like, number one, that's unkind. Like that's terrible. Number two, like, it doesn't create room for like what my barber said. My barber said, I love this guy. Like, he says, like, we should never be afraid to reinvent ourselves.
Facts.
And like, we should give as much space for reinvention as possible. And so, like, I'm a resolution person. This year, I resolved, I got it on my board at home, my whiteboard. Simple year for me. The simple year for me is this. I want to enjoy everything that I do. Like, absolutely plumb enjoy pleasure.
Okay.
I want a Song of Songs type year. I want to enjoy.
Okay.
Like Proverbs, Song of Songs. Like, give me all that. Like,
okay.
I need
no Ecclesiastes type year at
all. No, I don't got it. It's the time for Song of Songs. That's the time and place right now. I need a year where, like, I just enjoy everything. I enjoy myself. I enjoy my time. I enjoy my work. I enjoy my family. I enjoy my friends. I enjoy learning and growing. I enjoy creating things. I enjoy letting go and therapy and traveling and things like that. Because last year, like, back to what you're saying, the pressure, like, that's one thing I just did not allow myself to do. I didn't allow myself to enjoy the life that I've been given and the life that I've created.
Yeah.
So that's my simple resolution, is to enjoy as much as possible.
That's real. I will say, I think, for me, it isn't this at the top of the year that is a time where I look to close things out. Like, I'm a student athlete, like, bread all the way through and through. Slipped up a little bit, but
all good. We all do.
Yeah. But I will say, I more so look around my birthday, and my birthday is in the summer. And also I look at that as the close of the year because back then school, and then also I played sports year round. So by summer, that was the break time. That was the time to rest. So for me, and then my birthday is in July. So for me, it's more so like, that's the time when I look to reflect. Like that's my new year more so. Because I don't want to feel the pressure of everybody else's new year. And then get frustrated and be the unkind person in the gym when all the people taking up all the spaces. It's me. When people are taking up all the spaces and they're not going to make it through March. So.
That's real. That's real.
Yeah.
That's real. I get that. I think that's one of the reasons why we all just like struggle with, fresh starts.
Yeah.
As a church, we're going through our fresh start fast right now. And, we hope y'all check it out. Check out the Fresh Start Fast. I pulled it out the other day and just was reading and enjoying the devotion time because, like, I feel like in this moment, like, there's like a return that is happening. Mm-hmm. Like, there's a shift. Like, I love talking in that language. Like, there's a shift, legitimate shift happening in the atmosphere right now. And I feel like the shift is like a return. Mm-hmm. Like, here you are. Tell me why my Instagram algorithm is going to throw all of these 90s kids stuff in my algorithm. Like, bro, like, that to me, that's a message. It's like, bro, like, people want VCR again. Like, they want old movies.
Oh, 100%.
Like, old TV shows.
That is me.
Yes.
100%. I would prefer to go back analog at this moment. That's something I've been reflecting and thinking about, of just more so being a little less digital or more so like filtering or just being more intentional about even photos. Like, I think I was mentioning the other day, I was like, I think I'm going to go back to getting a regular camera, not a digital camera, and just go take the film to be developed, or maybe turn a room or something into a light room and just develop the film. I miss photo books.
Do they even got those still? Like, bro,
yes,
like,
you can still. I was gifted one for my birthday.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because I really want to get to a place where, like, it's not just where I have 10,000 photos in my phone, or Apple is like sending me notifications. You're running out of space. Yeah. You need to up your iCloud.
Yeah.
Like, I really want to go back to the time where, like, I enjoy family time during the holidays because, and also, of course, when people pass away, we're going through photos. And then we all have to ask, like, who is that? Because we've never seen this person before. Maybe open a photo, open a book up, take it out, the plastic, and then flip it over and then see the names on it. So just to know who our people who passed on have also been a part of and been around. Like, I miss that. Because I don't know what's going to happen if I die and it's just my phone.
I know. It's like a wild thing to think about.
Yeah, you're going to have to go look through my Facebook photos and Instagram.
I know.
Ooh.
It's wild. That's funny. That's funny. So we're talking about setting the tone.
Yeah.
And particularly setting the tone of Let's Talk Fam. I mean, it's all, I love, like, the idea of, like I said, of newness. And we're just now getting started together. I'm just excited about just the conversation that we're going to have. And just, in some sense, just continuing the conversation we already have just about, like, life and culture and just everything in between. And I'm really excited about that. And I know people are excited about starting the year off strong and just setting the tone of the year. And I'm just wondering, like, why is it so important for people to set the tone? Like, instead of just kind of letting the year happen to you.
I mean, I think it's important to just be intentional. And I think the beginning of intentionality is understanding what is the pace, like, what's the tone of your life, of your rhythm. I think that's super important. Otherwise, you are unaware and just out here floating. And that's not, it can be dangerous, right? Mm-hmm. Or it can just waste time. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I hope I answered that.
That's cool. That's cool.
What do you think about that? Like, what do you think about the importance of, like, tone and setting the pace? And, like, why do you feel like that's important? Or are you more so loose about it?
Yeah, no, I'm not loose at all. Like, especially when it comes to, like, things I'm trying to get done. Because I'm just like, you can you can never get a thing done that you don't, like you said, intend to get done. It's very easy, and I'm going through this as a writer, right? So it's so easy to just read all the time, you know, and to think that like reading is going to get it done. But I never forget reading James Clear's book, Atomic Habits, and there's a chapter in there on motion and action. Like there's a vast difference between motion and action. So it was this. So there was a group of students that a professor had, Group A and Group B. Group A there was all photography students, and the professor said, okay, here's Group A. Group A, I want you over this course of time, I want you to simply try and develop one perfect picture, right? I want you to just present to me one perfect picture at the end of the semester. The other group, I want you to be the practice group. Like, this is the presentation group. This is the practice group. And I want you as the practice group all you got to do is show me your work. You don't have to present to me no perfect image, this. Like, all I want to see at the end of the semester, your perfect work, your work, your process. Who do you think developed better photos?
I think the group that was allowed more freedom.
Exactly. The group that practiced. There wasn't no like end game, no end point. It was just like it was just a process. And I think like, to me, that's how I approach it. Like if you intend to get things done, then you have to find out a way to put things into action and not just have motion. Yeah. Because it's so easy to just be like, all right, I'm going to get to this today. Yeah. I'm going to do this today. Rather than like putting yourself in the right environment, having the right people around you to encourage it, and like actually sticking to your guns. Yeah. Like sticking to it, to say like, hey, like the sermon that PG preached, oh my goodness, like on New Year's Eve. Was it New Year's Eve or the Sun? It was one of them sermons. My memory's terrible. But one of the things I remember was like, the point he made was like, show up. Yeah. That's it. It's like, show up. So to me, like, setting the tone is about the courage and the willingness to show up, even if there's the possibility of failure in the showing up. Because failure contains wisdom too. Yeah. And lessons.
Yeah. You know, I think that's so good. You know, one of the things that I've been sitting with and my word for a year is actually rest. And just thinking about that and showing up. I think it's important to know what your season is, because everybody isn't in the same season. You have to really be mindful of where you are in this moment and what it is that you are doing. What's your purpose? Or trying to figure out what that is, so you can figure out what that tone and that pace is and what season you're in. And I was sitting with, like, you know, just sharing, because people are always like, now, what's your word? What's your word for the year? What's your word for the year? I was like, just rest, actually. And I had to explain to, like, a friend, like, that doesn't mean that I'm going to be inactive and there's not going to be any motion. It's still going to be motion, but my intentions behind the things that I'm doing will be just a little bit different. I'll just be more relaxed and open to what comes than trying to force an outcome. Yeah. Just because I received something I'm supposed to do, it doesn't necessarily mean it has to happen today. It also can take time and happen over time. Some things just have to be worked out. Some things have to just, you know.
But we struggle with that. Like, we really struggle because, like,
people are so anxious for results right now.
I know. And this is
anxious for, like, data, anxious for
don't
outcomes.
Even get me started.
It's you know, in my profession and what I do for 9 to 5, I work in marketing. And a lot of the things that I constantly have to let my team know and constantly have to, like, manage expectations with stakeholders is, like, we're on the way. There's still progress. Like, we can't get caught up in the data. We can't get caught up in the algorithm. We have to just be confident in the plan. Like, just work the plan. And it'll come to pass. And just rest in knowing that you're in a plan.
That's real. Yeah. I was, did I share this with you, the Tyler Creator?
Oh, yeah, we talked about that.
We did talk about that. Yes. So Tyler, the Creator, for those that don't know, he's just a multi-hyphenate. I think they call it multi-hyphenate artist.
Yeah, multi-hyphenate artist.
Yeah, where he works in all type of mediums, and he's just a brilliant, genius human being. And I was listening to Tyler Creator the other day, giving an interview, sitting on the couch talking to dudes, and he was giving an interview where he says like, "Yo, forget the numbers, like when we're so concerned about like the numbers, then like we think about like we got to put a timeline on success." Like we got to put a timeline on it. And it's like, yo, like he was naming all these people who were flops at the beginning. Or
considered at the time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Who wasn't as big as they would ever be, wasn't as big as, you know, other people at that moment. They were not the best version of themselves at the time. And I love that because it's like, bro, like, why do we always have to be the best version of ourselves? Like, that's one thing I wish, like, I want to, like, preach that sermon all year long. Like, you don't always have to be the best version of yourself.
Or you are currently the best version.
You right. Preach to me.
Rest
Come on.
in that.
Come
Like,
on. You are.
Or you are already at this moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's real.
Yeah.
You're right. You are.
Yeah.
You don't have to be. It's not something that you gotta.
Evolve. Like,
yeah.
You're live.
Yeah. Yeah. And this actually been my qualms with like all of this, like back to what you were saying about algorithms and stuff like that. Because I think about young people right now. There's young people that's probably going to listen to this, or like young people who see us, and like I worry for them tremendously because they only know a world in which their value is dependent on how visible they are. Like their value is dependent upon how like much they can be like Casanet or whoever. Like, and there's no knock to influencers, but like yo, like it's almost like football, right? Like not everybody going to the league, my boy. Like get a grip on life. You if you're always striving to what you're not, then you'll never affirm what you are. Like never. And it's like, if that's one thing that I can just preach to people this year, is what my therapist tell me. Perception and expectation are the guardrails for an ambitious and anxious heart.
Okay. Come on, whisper.
Perception and expectations are the guardrails for an ambitious and anxious heart. So it's like Dante, Stewart. This year, perception, expectations. Perceive yourself correctly. Or listeners, perceive yourself correctly. You don't have to be your best version. You already are. And you don't have to like rush success. Like the best thing about success is the process. Because we all know, like, bro, come on, you can name a moment where like you worked for a thing and it was a success and it worked. Just give me any story.
I don't know.
It's just any story. It don't got to be big.
I don't know.
Come on. You got a story.
The
Seminary, graduating, something like that.
I mean, so I'll be honest. Like seminary, the road to seminary for me is not, I don't know what's considered normal because I just surrendered and was like, I hope I heard that right. And then I was like, let me just apply. Yeah. And then if I get in, and I'm still looking to be affirmed in that. So I'm still just trusting and resting in, okay, this is the direction. You know, and I will say this, like not to sidetrack your question.
It's cool.
But I will say, not only, you said you worry about like the kids now and the generations, the younger generations right now. I'm actually concerned for us and the older generation because I also feel like there's this, from what I'm seeing, it feels like there's this pressure for, you know, our age and older to be okay with the trend, like us not catching on to the new trend, like being okay with not being considered in the know or cool. Yeah. Like it's okay. Like I don't need to know the next way to post something on TikTok. Yeah. Like I don't have to master
60 years old and I'm for TikTok.
Yeah, like I don't have to know how to, I'm okay with not knowing like what's the latest trend in fashion. Like no, I wear what feels good to me. Like I like this texture feels great. I'm gonna put it on, and if somebody likes it, okay, cool, that's great. But I like it, so I'm gonna keep doing what I like. Yeah. And I think, you know, to Tyler's point, what you said from that interview and that video is like, a lot of people may perceive those artists as flops during their time, but the other part of the interview of what he was saying is like, nah, they made that for a generation that they may not see. And I think that's important for us, like, even for our generation. It's something that I sit with often is like, I don't need to, like, as I'm getting older, I don't need to know, like, what's the latest, like, colloquial phrase that the kids are saying. I mean, I get it through, organically because I'm around them, but I don't feel the need to have to know it and to use it. But I can throw it out there. But I do think sometimes, like, it's important for, our generation, the older generations, to be confident and comfortable in knowing things that they don't know, so that we can be soundboards for them, so they won't go too far, so they won't go past the guardrails, like what you said, like, so where their perception can be more so grounded in something that's firm, something that's true.
Yeah.
Nah,
that's real. And that's actually one of the, I'm glad you said it that way, because to me, that's one of the goals of this podcast, even when we first started it. It's like, we don't really know what we're doing. We're just in this space, this very beautiful space.
Yeah.
And we just want to have conversations about things that matter.
Yes.
And we want to just talk as if we're talking in conversations. And like, my favorite movie, absolute favorite. If people know me, people know I don't know if it's a cinephile. Is that what it's called?
Cinephile, yeah.
Yeah, I'm a cinephile. I don't know if I would be a cinephile, right? You and everybody else get on me about my lack of music.
But you got movies.
I do got movies.
You got movies.
I do. I know movies. Like, I do know movies. And books. So I'm a Is it bibliophile?
Bibliophile.
Okay, I'm a cinephile and a bibliophile.
Come on.
Amen. And one of my favorite films is a German film from 2017. Or it's 18. It's one of them. It's a German film by the name of Never Look Away. And it tells the story of a young kid who's an artist in post-Nazi Germany. And the young kid, his aunt took him to museums and things like that. And the young kid, just struggles with trusting himself and believing that the place he comes from, the place that made him, that made his art, that made his life, that turned young Kurt into big Kurt, the artist who was famous and well-loved and visible and vibrant. He distrusted that. And so the story goes through this long story of him, becoming everything that he's not. And there was this catalytic scene where he leaves Dresden and leaves that art world behind, sells everything, goes to a new place with Elizabeth, his wife, and he starts art over. Problem is, he starts over in this quote unquote abstract type of art. It's this new art, the new moment where everybody is focusing on abstract art. It's all about like the new thing. He has a professor by the name of Anton who works with grease and felt. So it's like he works with this certain material. And as he's working with this certain material, Anton invites Kurt into a conversation. And he has a conversation where he goes to Kurt's studio and he looks around and looks at all Kurt's beautiful art. And he says this. He says, "You've made great art, but this is not you. This ain't you.
Yeah.
This is not you, Kurt. It's beautiful. It's lovely. It's amazing. But it's not you. It's not the art. I feel it. I like it. I love it. But it's not you." And Kurt had a moment where when the professor tells him why he works with grease and felt, which goes back to the story of him bombing a city that he never got to bomb. His plane goes down, and the way they healed his wounds was with the grease and felt. And every day since then, he started working with grease and felt as his material, because he says the closest thing he knew to love was when the grease and the felt was on his body, covering his wounds. And he tells that to Kurt, and he tells Kurt, that's where the art dwells. And I think that for so many of us, like, we're becoming so many things to so many people. There's like this pull to be like the new thing, the best thing, this, that. And it's like, nah, just do the thing you love and do the thing the best you know you can.
Yes, 100%. One of the things that I constantly remind myself, and it's, I I feel like it's Dr. Seuss or something like that. It's a quote, childhood thing. And it says, no one is more youer than you. Like no one. And there's a beauty in that. And in the you and the youer, at any given moment in your life, you are the best thing that life has to offer in this moment, because you are also a gift. You are a child of God. You created by him in his image, and who you are in this moment, good or bad or imperfect, is perfect for this moment. Like that is important.
So important.
Yeah.
It's the greatest affirmation.
Greatest affirmation.
It's the greatest affirmation. And I think it's necessary to start the season off like that. It's to think about setting the tone, starting strong. And it's not even about starting strong either. Like, it's about...
just be well.
Yeah, just start with where you at and who you are. And that's what we're going to do every week. We're going to start over.
Yes.
We're going to have a new conversation every single week about things that matter.
Yes.
And we're just going to talk and hope to God that there's some wisdom there that people find. And if not, it's okay. We like that we're making it. But if you love this thing, I just want to invite you to share, to subscribe, share with a friend. You know, this is something that you can easily listen to in your commute. And that's one thing we want with this season, is just things that are very easily and manageable, in the sense of like while you're driving or while you chilling and making food, or you can just find some type of word, something in it that can help you. And I really look forward to it. You got any parting word for the people?
There's no one more youer than you. Just remember that.
Amen. Let
your new year be your new year, for wherever that is. And whenever that is.
Amen. That's a word.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. We love you.
We love you.
All right.
Peace.
Blessings.